All right, so I want to give a special shout out to this place called McGizzy Communications. The natives run it, Native Americans run it. They always have. When I got out of high school, I heard about this program, and I probably heard about it through Chicago and Lake. Basically, you're learning how to do Photoshop and to build websites. Okay. You know what I mean? This is where old Cup before it closed down the business. Dirk's wipes, of course. Y'all don't know, like I was telling Titan the other day. And I hope he watches and hit the like button on all this stuff. This shit's so damn therapeutic. Because there's a lot of things that we used to kind of go through to a certain extent. Not like, not nothing like, I don't know if I got to be on a talk show, but like, there's things that you go through and that happen to you in the city, or just, I don't know, just being little black kids and stuff, and sometimes you don't really realize it until later. And as an adult, you kind of be like, damn, that happened to me, or this was going on, and you may not really deal with it or talk about it. Like, the whole thing about, like, with us, especially like a lot of like black men, we kind of like, man, hey, shake it off. You know what I'm saying? Shake it off, bro. Get back to work. And that's usually what we do. So, but without further ado, I got to give a special shout out to McGizzy Communications, because they kind of gave me my shot right out of high school. This was around, I believe, 01. And there was a lady by the name of Teddy Gray Owl. I never forget her, because she was real, real cool. Now they got more people that was, it looked like it's native run and whatnot. And as you can see a Freedman, she's a citizen of Red Lake. This sister right here, I don't really know her, but she's a Red Lake. You know what I mean? So it looks like they got it how a nonprofit's supposed to be. The natives are supposed to run their own stuff. It ain't supposed to be no $5 Indians, and it ain't supposed to be nobody outside of real reservation making rules about them. As being people indigenous to the land, if you're indigenous to the land, you should be indigenous to run your own shit. Now, I talked about the Cherokees, and I'm going to edit that other thing where Dr. Claude Anderson talks about the quantum blood law and all that. So there was some intermixing. There's new information coming out far as, it being a strong possibility of black folks predating the pre-Columbia, whatever. Okay, that's, Aboriginal, whatever niggas want to say, I guess so. That's to be told. The truth is to be revealed at some point in time. Well, but I'll say this place right here, they showed us how to use Photoshop and how to build web pages. You see what I'm saying? I don't think nobody would remember, but I remember I presented a project. And I built a web page, and I did some stupid shit. I did some real dumbass shit, and nobody will probably really remember that but me. So I'm not gonna mention what it was. It wasn't like no porn or nothing, but it was some dumbass shit. Because I think somebody, while I was there, somebody made me mad, and I guess basically, I think it was a white dude that was talking kind of slick to me that might have been in the program or whatever, staff or something. But looking back, nobody said anything, but it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I do a patron or some shit like that, I might cover it. But all I remember is I did something dumb. But I developed a website. Okay. So this place, McGizzy Communications, I would take the bus. I would take the bus, and I think I'd hop on a 21. McDonald's was kind of right there. It was like cross street from McDonald's, so it was on Lake Street. I spent a lot of time on Lake. Lake Street is a cornerstone, legendary street in the city of Minneapolis, especially people from over south. I want to also give a shout out to one of the first people, you know, when my book came out, not just DOLLA, but Southside Chief on live on Lake Street. Lake Street Legends. He was one of the first people to put the uprisings on t-shirts. And he's from here, so he rightfully should be able to do that and reap the benefits. So Lake Street is a place where, like, especially when me and my homies was kind of hustling, we'd always go into Denny's. If we was broke, we would go into Wendy's. Denny's used to be a spot where you can, you know, bring something through and get your roll on. Denny's wasn't looked down upon. I remember, you know, like, dudes used to bring dates and stuff like that. They, you know how like now they be like, man, I ain't going to no Denny's. Don't bring me to no Cheesecake Factory, man, please. Them pancakes was on hit. Them pancakes, and there was a white lady. Y'all know on Lake Street, this white lady. Let me tell y'all something. This ride in the Chevy gonna be playing. There was a white lady, real cool. She used to date a dude. She used to date a brother. She worked at that Denny's. How do I know? Should I do it? Should I do a Mike Titan? I'm sending this to Mike Titan ASAP. Should I do a Titan? Ashy boots. That was, you know. Ashy boots. So hold on. Yeah, I did see it. No, I see it. I'd watch it again though. Mo Better Blues is a classic. I said I saw it before, but I would see it again. Mo Better Blues is a classic. Yeah, Mo Better Blues. They're asking me about Mo Better Blues. Mo Better Blues is a damn classic. Spike Lee, you know, on the political side, some of the stuff he's been doing is, man. But man, we can't take that away from Spike Lee. Mo Better Blues, Malcolm, come on, man. Mo Better Blues. Even the company, like I say, some of the political stuff, I could tell the niggas get old, so they like, okay, Kamala, give me a check, whatever. But man, Mo Better Blues is a classic. Mo Better Blues is a damn classic. Wesley Snipes, Denzel. Because everybody knows it's a classic. So, no, man. This white lady, she was cool. She one of them white ladies. She one of them, not really a wigger, but everybody knows, anybody that listens to this, I know Southside Chief from Lake Street. If he ever gets word of this, he gonna know who I'm talking about. On Lake Street, the white lady used to work in Denny's. Look out for you, real cool. Always had a ponytail, worked there late. Cook your stuff well done when you ask it, or make sure to cook. Girl, Denny's was a spot. So I got to put that in context to things around. You ain't had no money, you get double stack. $2 double stack, dollar double stack, or whatever. That's what we used to do. So I go to McGizzy Communications. You know what? I'm gonna have to do something, man. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to put one of my. That's got to be one of my signatures now. That riding in the Chevy is gonna have to be one of my signatures. Not just playing all the time. That's gonna have to be one of my little pads on my Roadcaster. When I tell you they had 7s or better in that program, every sister was a 7 or better. When I tell you every single one was a 7 or a damn better, I'm not playing with you. I'm coming in there. You're just reading the notes on how to do Photoshop and stuff, and I'm making and I'm manipulating this stuff, and you know I'm turning off the opacity, or you saying it right? Opacity. Damn, this is therapeutic. I could do this shit all night. And there was like 2 floors, I think. So there was a floor on the first floor, and the second floor you go and you doing all this stuff. So man, I'm fresh. And there was one day we ended up by the Mixed Blood Theater. I don't know why we ended up by the Mixed Blood Theater, but there was this brother with braces, dark skinned cat, real cool. And there was a couple Somalians and a couple brothers. And there was a Mexican dude and a couple natives. We had almost like a brotherhood, almost to a certain degree. Let me tell y'all a story. This might be long, because I almost forgot about that. I don't know why we ended up at the Mixed Blood Theater, but one day we go over there, and before let me say this before that. So like I say, we doing the Photoshop thing. 7s are better, all of them. All the sisters, their 7s are better. You had this one chick from Egan, and you know I had that. At that point, I was starting to get my gift of gab. In high school, I was starting to get a little more popular. 9th grade, I was kind of getting pushed around a little bit and stuff like that. And then, you know, around that transition when my dad was leaving the house, I always had this innate fear of, and I'll do another story time on this, but I had this innate fear of getting kicked out of school, because he basically said, if you get suspended, I'm going to F you up. Like, I'm going to beat you. Like, I'm not going to whip you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you bad. Don't get kicked out of school. He had that kind of that old school mentality. He never graduated. I don't think he went past 5th grade or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So his attitude was still real old school, military. You don't get kicked out of school. If you get bullied, you just get bullied. You don't get kicked out of school. Now, outside of school, if now you can't come in the house after somebody picking on you. You gonna have to, damn, fuck, hold on. Yeah, while I'm recording, I'm doing a, you know, yeah. No, I was doing one, I was gonna do one more and be done. Did you need something? Yeah, I'll be done soon. All right. I hate being disturbed, man. You know what I'm saying? When I'm trying. So I'm trying to crank these things out, because I know during the week, man, I ain't got a lot of time. So this month, okay, so I had this innate fear of getting kicked out of school. And that kind of stuck with me for a long time. So That's gonna have to be another story time too, if I remember. I don't know if I'm remember, but I might have to do that and I'll play it back and do the editing. So in my mind, I was still in that mindset where I pretty much gotta accept whatever people are doing. South High is not that kind of environment. South High had its crews and it had its cliques. Stack Doe could attest to this. I'm gonna send this to bro when I'm done with this one, because he gonna remember. You're coming in, the South High looks like a damn prison already. You see what I'm saying? So it literally, they're conditioning you. It looks like a damn prison. My mom used to tell me that all the time. Like, it looks like a correctional facility. And I don't think they did that accidentally. When she went to South High, it was mainly white. But it's like, why would you make a school that looks like this? There's no windows, whatever. So I'm going in with the mentality that I can't get kicked out of school. So whatever bullying or whatever's going on, I'm just kind of accepting it. So I can't use my little inner Wolverine. I don't feel like I could use it. Now, 7th and 8th grade, I got suspended. So I don't know why I was thinking like that. But 7th grade, I got into it with this dude named Reggie. Reggie was cool, but I guess he was trying to bully me or whatever. In the hallway, Reggie, and I'm gonna get to the story, but I gotta give a little context, you know. So Reggie was trying to bully me in the hallway or something like that. And I pieced him up real quick. Pow, 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 pow. Laid him out. Hall monitor, he's screaming to the hall, he's trying to beat me up. I got suspended. My mom didn't tell my dad. We'll do a story time on that. 8th grade, white dude tried to hit me with a chair or something like that. Cracked his ass up. The whole school found out about it. So, fight or flight mode, I'm still trying to find my place to deal with the bullying and stuff like that. So 9th grade, bullying. 10th grade, it was like a blur. You see what I'm saying? I came back to school. When he left out the house, I ain't got to worry about nobody tripping on, you know, me defending myself and getting kicked out of school or whatever like that. So I'm kind of transitioning. 11th grade, I joined partnership. We got to make a story on that too. Joe Music, one of the realest white dudes I knew. 11th grade, get my confidence up. By that time, I had a couple little scuffles with some of my homies. I'm getting some respect. I'm getting serious respect now. I'm getting some serious respect now amongst my homies and amongst people among the West Bank and the South High. 12th grade, I go to WOC. Now I'm in the Lions Den. I'm amongst all the kids got kicked out of all the other schools, but I wanted to go to WOC. But my confidence is building. My homie Boma ends up at WOC. We had got to a little altercation beforehand, but now I'm like a real equal amongst my homies. I'm not like the little nigga no more. I'm like a real equal amongst my homies now. So there's a respect level. He goes to WOC. I follow him. DP, you could get your credits early. And it's some badass rats up in here. I'm out. I'll leave South High. I'm out. So now I'm starting to get my confidence up. I'm starting to kind of get my holler on and stuff. I'm not talking about video games and all that kind of stuff, because I know that the females really don't want to hear about that. So now, graduate early. 2001, I'm asleep. Mom wakes me up. Towers fell. So, what you mean? She wake me up. Get up. Towers fell. What I got to do with it? She's like, nigga, the twin towers fell. Get out of bed. And I'm like, okay, so what this got to do with me? Oh, it's going, so she wakes me up, like gets me out of bed, hit me with a shoe or something like that. I'm like, Mom, what is that? I didn't do it. Watch this. She turns the TV on and makes me watch it. I didn't care either way. Then when I seen it, I'm like, damn. Yo. I'm looking at this stuff like, this sound like somebody, I don't know, man. It sounded like someone planned it almost. That's what, when I seen it, I'm looking the second one, I'm like, hold on. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So hear about McGizzy Communications at some point in time. Going in there, sevens and better. All of them. Sevens are better. I'm immediately talking. And then I'm the most technical nigga in there. Why do you know how to do this, Derek? Oh, baby. Put that on layer 1 and turn up the opacity. She's trying to make an album cover. I said, okay, let me help you with that. So, like I say, I hang out with the dark skinned cat with the braces. He's super cool. I don't know where he was from. He's super cool. Super cool. And he ain't hating. They had this one Somalian chick up in there. Butters long like Jean Grey. Kind of thick. And it's a couple other Somalian chicks up in there. Now, usually, like I say, they up in there, they usually like deal with their own people or like that, but I had a gift to gab. I'm in there running. I'm talking to all of them. Then I'm talking to the biracial chick from Egan. She got like braces or something like that. She was kind of fine. So I'm talking to her. She eventually like left the program or something but she stayed all the way in Egan. So I'm buttering them all up. I'm talking to all of them. Then there's one more. There's one chick, she had glass. Now, remember what I told you about the security guard? You don't see what's going on until she wears something else. So I'm kind of thinking she's just wearing these little geeky Urkel glasses. So I ain't paying her no mind. I'm talking to her, but she's like, you know, kind of really taking a liking to me, and I'm talking to her and stuff like that, and she doing all this while I'm working on the computer. She coming and hugging me, and now keep in mind, I'm chopping them. All equal. I'm chopping them all up. Somali chick sees me, she mad. Oh, you a player. The Egan chick takes offense. She's like, you knocking the pimping, man. I ain't never seen this. This is before the toxic masculinity bullshit was ever even in play. Like the Egan chick that I'm chopping them all up, all of them. The Egan chick pulls me to the side, be like, man, don't let no. She said something like crazy. I was surprised. She said, don't let no hoe knock your game or whatever. Like you need to check her. She need to mind her business. I'm like, well, damn. Whoa. So I guess she was mad because she said, oh, you're a player. You're talking to other women and stuff. And, you know, and I'm like, I'm just talking. You know, get out of jail free card. I'm just talking. That's all I'm doing. I didn't get a number from nobody, but she doesn't like that I'm talking to her. I'm equally speaking to everyone. And so she's like, oh, she probably feels like, well, you flirting with all of them. And I'm like, shit, I ain't took a phone number yet. I'm just, you know. So she didn't like that. And then, but the Egan chick, the biracial chick, mixed chick, she like, no, don't let no hoes knock your game. Keep gaming. You know what I'm saying? She said, you need to check her. She said, I'll check her for you. I said, well, damn. I said, no, don't do all that. Don't cause no issue amongst the, you know, the workplace or whatever, because I still look, you know. So I didn't check her at first. And the Egan chick must have known that, because I could see that the Somali chick, like every time we come to work or stuff like that, she's still kind of looking at me. She's talking to me and all that, and she kind of smiling a little bit or whatever. But she's still kind of salty that I'm talking to other women at work. We don't talk outside of work at all. Nobody does. It's just when I'm at work, I'm shopping everybody. So it's like the second or third day, and the Egan shit comes up to me, and she like, man, you check that hoe? I said, no. Like she said, I'm going to holler at her right now. I'm like, no, listen, stop. So I go and pull this Molly chick to the side. I'm like, listen, you know, you kind of came at me in public saying that, you know, that I'm a player and this, that, and the third, and I'm, you know, doing all this. You know, You ain't got to do all that. Like, I ain't even touched you yet. She said, well, you ain't gonna touch me or whatever. I said, if you want me to. So she cheesing and doing all this. And so, like I said, we young. We like 19, 18, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we puppy love or whatnot. So, I kind of tell her like, don't do that. And at first I was afraid for the rejection, that she might say, well, but it worked. She was blushing and she was like, okay, I won't do that again. And I said, damn, this little biracial chick done strapped me up with some real Mac Mall shit. You know what I'm saying? It was funny. So, okay, so now I'm overly confident at this time. It's just bleeding down my nose. The brother with the braces, he comes, and I'm gonna tell, I gotta get to mixed blood in a minute, but the brother with the braces, he comes. He must have been like, hey, Urkel. You know what I'm saying? The Urkel chick, the Urkel glass chick. He's like, man, she digging you. And I'm kind of like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really, whatever. But it was a day that one day we had to be kind of dressed up or whatever like that. So we going to McDonald's. And everybody had to be suited and booted. So I come in with my suit. So the mixed blood theater thing had to have been before this. I think it had to have been before this when I was working at the mixed blood theater. So because at one point we ended up at the mixed blood theater via Big Izzy, to my knowledge. So we in McDonald's. I think it's lunchtime or something. We getting ready to eat. I go over there. I see the Urkel chick. And she had a dress on. I did not know, because when she used to wear clothes, so I couldn't really see. But man, let me tell you, I was just like, I was stuck, and I could kind of tell because I wasn't up on her like before. She was kind of like, okay, yeah, nigga, you didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know about this, did you? And I'm still in the braces, dude. The brother's like, man, you didn't know? I said, no, man, I ain't even. She said, man, she been digging you from the start. Like, you should have been on top of that. So, at that time, towards the end, there's one piece I gotta leave out. There's one piece that I gotta leave out. So we had exchanged numbers, whatnot, and she was just kind of, and I think at the time, because I didn't have a car or whatever, whatever. So now the Egan shit that was kind of like caping for me, she eventually left the program. She gave me her number. I never called her. I should have hit her up at that time. So now program's ending. Now let's go to mixed blood theater. That was before, when this program thing was wrapping up, when we were almost done and everybody had to do their presentation or their Photoshop. So now, was it 28 minutes? I'm gonna wrap it up soon. So we I'm looking at this side. All right, here we go. Okay, so we go over to the mixed blood theater for something. I don't know what it is. There's these community cops. And this is my first time really seeing police brutality up close. So there's a community cop, Asian dude, right over by the Brian Quayle Center. There's some kind of broken piece of wood somewhere. I don't know what it was, but the brother with the braces was kicking the broken piece of wood. It was something like that. It was something that wasn't even worth addressing. It was something just really, really small. I don't even know if I can't even really call it vandalism. It was something that was already broke, something that, it was just minuscule. The Asian cop must have seen the brother messing with it or doing whatever he was doing, and he told him to stop messing with it or whatever. And the brother must have told him something like, "Oh, it's broke. It's just something. I'm just messing around. Something, real cool." So the Asian dude, he's a little short bastard. That's why I don't do this BIPOC POC bullshit. That's why I don't go for none of that, because you have too many of these damn situations at bay. So now the representative that was with us for the job at this place, like he's trying to talk to the cop and try to wane it down, but this dude was on one. He seen a black male and he went overly rambunctious on his job. So what he does is he tells the brother not to do something or whatever, and the brother's kind of like, it's broke, it ain't no big deal, So now the brother, keep in mind, the brother had like a cast where he had like an arm, his arm was broke or something was wrong with his arm. So this Asian race soldier grabs the brother's arm and twists it back or something like that, because he was being he was talking slick to the officer, like, you ain't got to bother me about this or this, that, and the third. So he was getting a little smart with him, but not enough for him to physically harm him and put his hands on him. It wasn't nothing physical. He didn't threaten the dude or nothing like that. He was just talking shit. He grabs the brother behind the back like this, and the brother is telling him, my arm is broke or something wrong with his collarbone. It was something like that. So he's steady twisting his brother's collarbone. He's twisting it up and he's pulling it or whatever. Dude screaming and all this kind of stuff like that. And so we telling this cop, we telling him, hey man, get off him. This ain't necessary. So we yelling at him like, man, get off him, get off him, get off him. And so now the adult in the room, he's walking over to the cop. The cop's, get back. He's cussing. He's doing all this all this stuff. The brother's screaming. At this point, I'm gonna get a lawyer. I'm gonna sue you. Now he's cussing. Now he's cursing this cop out. He telling him everything, calling him everything but a child of God, and rightfully so. And so the adult is trying to plead with the officer and tell him, like, hey, this is a child. You can't be doing, So eventually the cop lets him go. The brother sits down. And I think he get on the phone. I think he got on a cell phone and called his mom for a lawyer or something like that. So that happened. That was by the Mixed Blood Theater. It was this Asian cop. It might be the same one that used to hang around Chauvin. It might have been the same one. I don't know, but he was a cop that was posted in Minneapolis. He was like one of them community park cops or whatever like that, or something like that. I don't know, but man, that was crazy. That was damn well crazy when I seen it. I never forget that. But no, that brother used to look out for me. Like if he seen, when I was working a little summer program, anytime he seen some chick choosing, and it was some heavy choosing on there. The choosing was super heavy. He pulled me to the side and be like, hey. He was a never hating. He made sure he was an advocate for the choosing. You see what I'm saying? There was a little bit more around that time as far as me personally. A lot of times, some dudes might hate a little bit. Dudes will let you know. Dudes would for real let you know. They would let you know. And in my experience, even the sisters, if they see other sisters choosing, a lot of times they be like, man, yeah, go ahead. Or they might pull you to the side and let you know, like, oh, she down bad. She a straight rat. She a sewer. She works in a master splinter. Yeah. So no, I put that on my resume. That was the first position, McGizzy, that was on my resume. I had already did the Photoshop stuff. I was trying to get my holler on. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, It was just like I say, puppy love. We just talking and stuff. Nothing materialized, but that was like a little boot camp for female interaction and stuff like that. And it was, you never heard these little dumbass terms about toxic masculinity and all this kind of stuff. You didn't hear that kind of stuff. You didn't hear dudes getting overly aggressive with women and grabbing them and doing all that kind of stuff like that. That was all manufactured propaganda. That was some Noam Chomsky shit. Like, that was manufactured propaganda. You heard that way later. We didn't even know what that meant. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really have that issue when we would be at the workforce center, just out and about. I don't remember seeing dudes grabbing sisters and just manhandling them or nothing like that, or doing nothing like. If you seen something like that, it's some chick that got out of pocket and stole a nigga's money or did some real foul shit. You didn't see dudes just be, they're not manhandling women and doing all this toxic masculinity, you know. You didn't hear none of that. That was non-existent. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it on the bus. I didn't see none of that stuff, man. You know, I ain't gonna say it didn't happen, but I don't recall seeing that. You know, I recall seeing, you know, if you was a brother and you was kind of fresh and you might have had a little paper and you had some get up and go about yourself, the sisters was looking. You ain't had no issues unless you was just a weird spaced out nigga that just, you know, like even the Urkel, like I say, Urkel, you know, like I was a nerd, you know what I'm saying? But even though I was a nerd, I was among hustlers and all the elements. It's not something that you could hide from. It's not like you're living out in Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? You're not immune to rolling around in the dirt. You're gonna see all that kind of stuff. It's just that, you know, my parents, they didn't have experience. I guess maybe they were kind of old school. You know, my dad was 50 when he had me. I ain't find out till later. My mom was 30. So we didn't have addicts in the family and stuff like that. Not that we knew, not directly. We didn't have addicts. We didn't have the stereotypical, well, Jerome came from a crack cocaine and he came from Capri Green and everybody was doing. We didn't have that. But we were broke. You know, we were in the section 42 or the section, you know, like we were on. I remember seeing food stamps and government assistance and stuff like that. And I remember going to the projects down to Cedar Riverside and seeing the same thing. So it wasn't like we didn't have necessarily a silver spoon. Now, to the average person that might be coming from a place like Chicago or Gary or whatever like that, they could have looked at us as silver spoon Negroes, but we live right next door to them niggas either. It wasn't like they left Chicago or left Gary and they moved into fucking Edina. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas was living just like us too. The only difference is they came from a bigger city that was a little faster. You see what I'm saying? And that's the truth of it. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people from outside cities come to Minnesota because, number one, there's a drug trade. Number two, they got ran out of town. Number three, they don't want to be in the town they're in because it might be too dangerous. So they figure, well, I'll just move to Minnesota and everything be peaches and cream. And then they come over here and they find out that it's not. They're like, well, damn, I could have just stayed home for all of this shit. And that's what typically happens. It's a lot of black folks that have moved from places like Gary and Chicago and Detroit, and they come over here and it's just like Chicago and Detroit in different pockets. And they don't like it because of maybe the social aspect of it. It's kind of cutthroat, it's small. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people from different places are used to more, I don't know if I want to say community based, but they're used to black folks congregating and talking with people a lot versus everybody kind of being in their own little bubble here. That's how, you know, people that they got cliques. And a lot of people say this, even from New York and other places. Oh, I don't know you for a long time. I just don't rock with you. You see what I'm saying? They might be a little bit more sociable. So when they come here, they complain. Oh, I want to go home. I don't like Minnesota. Because It's not sociable. Once you get into that little clique, people don't like moving from that little clique. You see what I'm saying? So their attitude towards Minnesota, oh, Minnesota weak. I don't like it. I don't like it here. It's cold. That's one thing they don't like. And then on top of the social standpoint, you see what I'm saying? There's not a, when you, the farther north you go in terms of the Midwest, the mentality, some of the people start losing the field Negro complex. Now, I'm from Minnesota. I could say that. You see what I'm saying? I was the first nigga in Minnesota to say, remember when at the Floyd lynching, they started talking about the Jim Crow North. I redefined it on Live on Lake Street. I said, nigga, this ain't the Jim Crow North. This is the Dred Scott North. I said, this is the Dred Scott North. Folks didn't understand that lingo. I redefined the definition. I'm the first nigga from here that said this is the Dred Scott North. No rules apply for a black man is bound to be respected. That ain't me talking. That's Mike Huckabee talking. That's the Wisconsin Territory talking. The Dred Scott is a landmark case. That was up here. That was in these parts. You see what I'm saying? So I said, okay, so yeah, y'all talk about Mississippi, you want to talk about Georgia, you want to blame it on Rosewood, you want to blame it on the Deep South, you want to blame it on Louisiana. Nah, let's talk about the Dred Scott decision. You had to come all the way up here to northern liberal Minnesota and think you're going to get some rights and think that, yeah, that you're not going to have any Jim Crow white supremacist policies. Niggas want to call it something else. Disadvantage. I said, no, we're not going to use that term. That's a slur now. We're not going to use POC and minorities. We going to call it the Dred Scott North. Because that brother that was laying downtown, what was his name? I forgot his name. He got killed sleeping. They came in with a no-knock warrant. Knocked the brother down. See? So, but yeah, people come up here and they think it's a, you know, it might be a little different. And there's some things that are different, but you know, but yeah, man, shout out to McGizzy, man. They did a solid. I have good things to say about that place. You know, they got, this is the lineup. This is a good, what I want to say is this is a good representation of what your staff is supposed to look like. You have people that look like you that speak on their behalf. And when you start asking, then what do they say? They provide a strong circle of support that nurtures the educational, social, economic, and cultural development of American Indian youth. And they're still on Lake Street. Where is the Freedmen Black American equivalent to McGizzy Communications? My homie Solomon asked that question. That's why I went on Big Talk MN. Shout out to Simba Ali. Where is the equivalent for the foundational Black American freedmen, American descendants of slaves? Where is the equivalent? And if not, why don't we have it? Looks like a question I need to ask myself. I'm gonna edit this and load it up. Enjoy.